The grand total is I have paid $120,000 and I still owe 76. How the fuck is this possible?
These student loans, like the calls, are really making me regret ever going to college.
What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of The Red Pill. Student loan debt is not a joke, and this is leading to a lot of anger and frustration with so many young people. The system has been set up to exploit students, and we need to stand up and address these issues. Watch the video, and let me know what you think in the comment below.
I am over $100,000 in debt because of student loans. Do I think it was worth it? Do I regret my decision? Let's get into it. So I decided to become a nurse when I was 24. I went to a community college to complete all of my prerequisite classes. I paid next to nothing to complete those. Once I was done and graduated with an associate's in science with a 3.8 GPA, I started applying to nursing programs. Applied to nursing programs throughout San Diego County, through Riverside County. 2 years went by and I had still not gotten into a nursing program. Bite the bullet and take out student loans and go to a private accelerated nursing program. I went to West Coast University. This school is notorious for being really expensive. Accelerated, so you graduate with your bachelor's degree in nursing in little over 2 years. The education itself, I really don't know if it was good or bad in the grand scheme of nursing programs throughout Southern California. What I will say is that I am in debt over $100,000 because of student loans. I don't know how long it's going to take me to pay that off. In fact, it's just a distant future goal of mine. I'm not even worrying about it right now. Paying them on time, it is what it is. Do I regret it? If I knew that getting into a regular public nursing program going to be that difficult, I would have just gone to West Coast right off the bat and saved myself those 2 years wasted. Why is it so hard to get into a nursing program? Is what I really want to know. There are so many RNs that are leaving bedside. Why would you want to make it so difficult for people to just get into nursing school? If you're thinking about going to West Coast and if you've been trying to get into a nursing program and you're having no luck, I would just say go for it. Go to a private program that you know you have a guaranteed foot in the door. If there's one thing I regret is that I didn't start sooner.
I just checked my student loans because I needed to get the information to someone, and what the fuck? I started with $80,000. I have been paying for 10 years. Last year, I paid $6,000 lump sum because that's really the only way to get it low. That took it down to $76,000 after I've been paying for 9 years. The grand total is I have paid $120,000 and I still owe 76. How the fuck is this possible? What?
Yo, this is what happens if you don't pay your student loans. So a couple years ago, I was in college and I had to get some federal student loans. I got kicked out of ROTC. It's a long story, but I needed the loans to finish my film studies degree. Now, when I got these loans, I was told that it was financial aid. Now, I don't know what you think the definition of aid is, but I had no idea you were supposed to pay them back. I didn't find out till I got out of school and I started getting emails about making payments and shit. I thought it was a scam, so I blocked the email and deleted everything. And I was getting phone calls and shit too. I was really annoying. Anyway, didn't make any payments for a year. And apparently there's something called a default. At least that's what the federal agent that showed up at my door told me happened to my loan. And I was like, what are you gonna do? Drag me to federal prison? Come on, be real. He's like, we're gonna garnish your wages. We're gonna take your tax return. I was like, I don't get any of that anyway. I got a film studies degree. There are no wages to garnish. So anyway, I tried filing for bankruptcy and that didn't even work.
How much do you owe in student loans and how much have you paid? Because I just went and looked at how much I owe versus how much I paid. I graduated a decade ago and I owed $50,000, right? And I said, you know what? I'm just going to be consistent. I'm going to pay my bill. And, eventually that amount will go down. And I've paid $200 something a month since then, right? $200 something a month. It has been 10 years later. I started at $50,000. It's at $47,000, right? I've paid $25,000+ since I graduated college, and it's only down 3. It's not making sense. It's not making sense. $200 is already a nice sized bill. What do you want me to do? Why does it have to be so aggressive? I'm not understanding. I'm trying to pay the money back. I'm giving you what I got. You know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to be paying it for the rest of my life? Do I have to pay $1,000 a month to see progress? Like, it's getting out of hand.
What Trump is doing on student loans is literally going to crash the economy. And I'll use my personal situation to show you how. And if you're one of these people at this point who is rooting for the downfall of people who have student loan debt, you're going to find out real quick that when we go down, you're going to go down too, because that's how the economy works when no one can afford to buy and sell things to each other. Because this is the impact just on me of what he has done. My payment is going to more than quadruple. I went to school for public health. Never in a million years would I have gone to school for public health and taken out the amount of money that I had to take out to get here if income-driven repayment plans were not an option. And he just closed the application to all of those plans. So my payment will be going from a somewhat manageable percentage of my income every month to the amount that will pay off my loans in the next 10 years. 13 million people are on these income-driven repayment plans in this country and are maybe about to have their payment double, triple, quadruple. Do you not think that's going to affect the entire economy and your job too? When tens of millions of people cannot spend money on your goods and services anymore, this is like tens of millions of people in their 20s and 30s moving back in with mom and dad type of situation because they can't literally afford an unexpected $1,000 a month student loan payment. Most of these 13 million people would not have gone to college or wouldn't have gone to the college for the career that they went for if these plans were not available when they signed those contracts. People are not trying to dupe the system. They're not trying to get out of anything. We're just trying to pay the plan that was available when we signed this contract, which was it'll be a percentage of your income. You'll be paying for the rest of your fucking life, but at least it won't be $1,000 a month on your $50,000 teacher salary.
Honestly, maybe they should start taking money from your paychecks and your refunds to pay back your student loans. Nobody forced y'all to go to college.
Maybe you should have got off your mama's couch, but nobody's questioning your decisions that you made in life. And those of you guys who are wondering why it's so difficult for people to pay their student loans back, how about I break it down for you right now? Imagine being 17 and 18 years old, going into college and getting forced to take out a student loan because you were told that in order to make it in life, you have to better yourself by going to school and getting an education. When you go get that education and now you're landing the job and you get the job and then they tell you you need 5 to 10 years of experience to then work this job. And oh, by the way, we're going to pay you minimum wage, damn near the same amount you would make if you did not go to school. So now you're an educator, can barely pay your bills, can barely pay to put food on your table. And now you have to pay back student loans that they told you to go to school for so you can have an education, just for your education to slap you in the face and tell you that your education is not enough and actually you need years of experience, and then we're going to also pay you minimum wage. If you needed to know why people are struggling to pay their student loans, ask yourself this question. Why would anyone give a loan? Why would anyone give an $80,000 loan to a 17, 18-year-old who has no credit history and tells them that they need to pay it back? And oh, sure, let's blame the parents who can barely afford to get their kids in school, but they're doing everything they can, but yet it is not enough. And then you ask yourself, why is it so many people that aren't paying their loans and why they're not paying their bill? No one told them to get an education. No one told you to sit on your ass and stay at home and eat fucking pizza every day. No, we did what we needed to do so that way your kids can have somewhere to go to school, so that way your kids can have someone to teach them, so that way your kids have a nurse that can take care of them, so that way if something breaks down in your house, somebody can come fix it. People can barely afford to pay for their groceries. The decisions people made when they were 17, 18, 19, they thought they were bettering themselves. They thought that they could pay for their loan. And quite frankly, putting those type of responsibility in a child's hand who just graduated high school is wild. Meanwhile, shoving down their throat the importance of education and how if you don't get an education, you cannot get a job to take care of your family. But yet that same education is not paying for you to take care of your family. And you're wondering why people are struggling. Instead of getting on this internet and blaming people for taking out a loan, why not understand?
I have student loans that total just over $1 million.
You're kidding me.
And no, sir.
What were you thinking?
Well, I wasn't thinking clearly. I've sat down and calculated my interest rates, and my interest is about $5,800 a month. So my fiance and I were trying to decide what's the best way to try to attack this.
When are you getting married?
April.
Okay. And what will you be making as an orthodontist?
About $250.
Okay. And what does she do, and what will she be making?
We actually just opened up an office, and she works in the office, so she's not taking any income out of the office.
Okay. This is such an extreme situation. Your income is extreme, and your debt is extreme, that you have to be very, very careful to just act like you're a broke college student because you are a broke orthodontist.
Right.
And so that means you guys aren't going on vacations.
Right.
You're not buying a house. You're not leasing a new
Right.
BMW. You're not going to a restaurant. You have $1 million. I can't even say it out loud. I can't breathe. $1 million in student loan debt. It gives me an anxiety attack, and it's not even my debt. But the horrible news is that ridiculous figure. The wonderful news is you have great income potential and a great income right now. So you cannot relax.
Right. So
you have to cut as deeply as you can cut.
Right.
And so be dialing your taxes in. I don't want you to get behind on taxes, but other than taxes and food and water and electricity, I really want everything else just going on student loan debt. The good news is you've got a great shovel, and you have a great, bright future with your income potential, and that gets you out of this. It's not a reason to get into it, but it does get you out of it. It gives you hope for your future.
Yo, let me know what you think in the comment. Like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.